Good morning again on behalf of Operation Rock. Forgive the technical difficulties, but we're back and we're going to get right into today's bombshell topic. And this is a special broadcast, forgive me, for the local residents of Staten Island, bringing you important news on the hour, every hour. So, people, today we're going to talk about the bombshell lawsuit against local Staten Island potential advocate and I want to say fake civil rights advocates, Malcolm Penn. Let's see, let's bring Malcolm. People, this is Malcolm Penn. Malcolm Penn is a advocate in Staten Island. He is a pretend gun violence supporter, people. He's a pretend good guy in the community. The truth is, people, Malcolm Penn is not a good guy. Malcolm Penn is a liar and a complete piece of shit. Malcolm has tried to run for public office several times and has failed. The last two attempts, I can take some direct credit in that, as I publicly advocated against him and exposed him to be a liar who tried to frame me to sleep with my ex girlfriend. And for those of you who don't believe me, I'm actually going to run to my Facebook page really quick just to let you hear that video. So you see, I'm not full of crap. That my problem with Malcolm Penn is legitimate, based on the fact that Malcolm Penn and several members of True to Life, to include Rachel Ewell, Melissa Thomas, Mike Perry, and an associate of True to Life, Ronti Olagunki, tried to frame me to help Francyna Evins get revenge on me. This is a fact. So, people, I had to do this. I had to deal with it. It was an unfortunate situation, but I did. I managed to beat these people in True to Life and shut down Francyna's efforts on Staten Island. Even though she's still hating on me and people hate on me on Staten Island, it's not easy for Staten Island to charge me criminally no more because I've exposed Francyna Evins to be the pathological liar she is. Now, we would think that men who claim to be advocates of domestic violence, they wouldn't like things like that. We would think that they would step up when they realize, especially a man like Malcolm, people, because Malcolm's done 10 years in prison. Doing 10 years in prison, one would think that Malcolm is a man of justice. Malcolm is a man of fairness. Malcolm is a man who does not want to see another man, especially an innocent man, in prison for something that he didn't do. But unfortunately for me, people, Malcolm Penn wanted to smash my ex girlfriend. So Malcolm Penn was willing to let an innocent black man, myself, be framed for allegations of abuse and domestic violence so he could get next to my ex girlfriend. And people, this is going to sound crazy, but Malcolm Penn actually admits to it, people. Let's take you there really quick.
But it's okay, baby. It's all right. It's 100. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I don't care.
Well, actually,
Christina, what am I
that's the wrong
supposed to do?
recording
I
audience.
ain't did nothing to your.
That's actually the wrong recording. That's this girl admitting I never abused her and that I never touched her. So we need to go actually up. That's the recording, people. I think. Is this it?
Yeah, now I know, bro. I told you, once I connected with you, and I hope you can see that I've been trying to push, and as much as I can.
So, people, the recording you hear is a recorded conversation between myself, Clayton Howard. The gentleman to my right, I believe, if I'm looking at the screen correctly, is Ronti Olagunki. And you see Malcolm Penn, who is the topic of this conversation. In this recorded conversation,
to let other people hear.
myself, Ronti, and Malcolm have a conversation about Francyna Evins. And Malcolm Penn admits that he knew Francyna Evins was lying, at least while he figured it out within a couple of weeks. But she looked so good that him and Mike Perry was trying to smash. So they continued to let her lie on me and support her, giving her domestic violence resources. And he actually said this during this conversation. He first begins to lie by saying, he just gives out resources in the community. But by the end of the conversation, he admits that him and Mike Perry were trying to sleep with Francyna Evins. And this is why this all happened to me. So now, people, I was willing to let it go if Malcolm Penn had just turned around and did the right thing, audience. And the right thing would have been to just tell the truth, which was that Francyna Evins was lying and a mistake was made. People, that's all I asked Clayton Howard, is that they tell the truth, which is that I never assaulted Francyna Evins. I was not stalking her, and I just broke up with her. That was it. But people, Malcolm couldn't do that because Malcolm needed the people who knew Francyna to support him because he was running for district leader 3 years ago. So what Malcolm Penn did was betray me and stop the initiative to expose Francyna to having lied to him and True to Life. Now, on the tape, he admits it. But to this day, he has never come out with it. So, people, I began to speak out against Malcolm because Malcolm is a fake advocate and a liar. And I played those tapes. I clipped the tapes. I've been playing the recordings for over a year. And Malcolm Penn has never made a public response to those recordings. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he can't. He can't argue with the fact he set me up because he admitted it on that tape. So Malcolm has been ghostly quiet about my allegations of a conspiracy between him, Ronti Olagunki, and members of True to Life to frame me. But 2 days ago, people, Malcolm saw an opportunity. Malcolm saw an opportunity to attack me and basically try to insult me and call me a dirty sex worker. People try to tell people I slept with Diddy. Well, for Malcolm's sake, I really hope he can fucking prove that. God, I hope he can prove that. Because if Malcolm can't prove that I slept with Diddy, oh, Malcolm got a problem. Malcolm, you got a problem if you can't prove that I slept with Sean Combs. And I'm going to tell you something, Malcolm. You ain't going to be able to prove it, buddy, because I never did. Cassie confessed that during the trial. The U.S. Attorney's Office talks that during the trial. People, there was no homosexual activity between me and Sean Combs. But Malcolm wanted to discredit me. He wants to try to embarrass me. So Malcolm puts this post up and tags me. Male escort? I can't imagine the disgusting things you would do for cash. You little crunchy face faggot. You got something to say? So people, me and Malcolm Penn go back and forth with this people, and I've dealt with my issues with the fact that I was paid for sex. People, listen, a beautiful woman paid me for almost a decade to sexually satisfy her. That tells you a couple of things, people. One, must tell you I'm really good in bed because women don't pay for sex, especially supermodels like Cassandra Ventura. We all know that Cassandra Ventura was sleeping with dozens of men now, which is disgusting, people. Believe me, I feel disgusting because I thought this girl was a clean, respectable woman. That's the lie she told me. Kind of like Francyna Evins lied and told me she wasn't fucking crazy. Cassie lied and told me she was a respectable woman and her man just had a small penis. She's a beautiful woman. She was paying me thousands of dollars. She was manipulating me with money, people. I was younger. I had just came out of prison. I was jacked up like a mother, like an MFer. People, I took the opportunity. Was it wrong? Yes, it was wrong. Did things happen to me in that as far as being oppressed and things like that? Yes, they did. But I was never sexually assaulted by Sean Combs. I never penetrated Sean Combs. He never sucked my penis. I never sucked his people. There was no homosexual activity. So by definition, I am not a homosexual with Sean Combs if I never had sex with him. But Malcolm Penn wanted to try to make a point and try to get himself popular for the members of Staten Island, the cornball guys he hangs out with. So he tried to attack me. The old Clayton would have so fed into this and been on his way to Staten Island to crack this little faggot's head. But no, people, it's a new Clayton. This Clayton has become much more intelligent, much more resourceful, and has developed a new set of skills that have practically made his ass a Jedi Knight. So what I did was I allowed Malcolm Penn to continue to talk all the shit he wanted. Go ahead, Malcolm, keep talking. And then, people, once it was over, I opened up my laptop, and in the next 45 minutes, I typed this complaint. And we're going to it's only 7 pages, people. The good part about knowing how to type a lawsuit is they don't have to be 100 pages. They just got to get to the point and who they're against. So we know the party is Malcolm Penn. We're going to go right to the statement of facts so you guys know exactly why Malcolm Penn is being sued. Let's go. Jurisdiction. We're going to go. Let's blow this screen up. Okay, people. Statement of facts. Malcolm Penn is a local advocate and self-proclaimed community advocate. The plaintiff and defendant, myself and Malcolm Penn, were connected through a conflict involving the plaintiff's ex-partner, Francyna Evins. Mr. White, along with several associates, conspired with the plaintiff's ex-partner to have him charged and detained based on fabricated allegations made by the ex-partner. Mr. White was instrumental in providing the ex-partner of the plaintiff with the connections necessary to begin a war of vexatious litigation, which has lasted to present day. During a recorded call that occurred sometime in 2023, the defendant, during the conversation, confessed to misconduct regarding the support of the plaintiff's ex-partner, admitting his interest was due to sexual lust and disregard for the plaintiff. The defendant never sought to correct the damage done to the plaintiff's life by exposing the deceit of his ex-partner. So the plaintiff and defendant became adversaries, with the plaintiff publicly challenging the credibility of the defendant in the public and online forums. This is me, people. I'm the plaintiff. On or about July 15, 2025, the defendant began his online attack of the plaintiff by tagging him in the post below. See, people, Malcolm is going to lose this lawsuit and he's going to be fucking done. You see the lawsuit I just showed you, Malcolm, and posted and tagged so the court knows it does exist and this isn't a salacious lawsuit? It's right there on page 3. So everyone who pulls this public lawsuit up is going to see Malcolm Penn actually did this. The defendant then published false and defamatory statements about the plaintiff, claiming the plaintiff was to be a homosexual who had sexual relationships with music producer Sean Combs for profit. The defamatory statements included, but were not limited to, the following: "You are a fun boy. What makes you a fake is because you don't want to be part of the LGTB community. You drink sperm." People below, you see Malcolm Penn saying, "You drink sperm, bro. You will tell the courts the truth." People, I don't drink sperm. Let's keep going. See, people, I didn't mind any of this because I know this idiot, he played himself. He's probably thinking, oh my God, Clayton Howard's coming after me for money. Clayton's going to try to get me for money. People, I don't need money out of mountain. Civil court is about money, but you also get many other things in civil court. The one thing you get is called declaratory orders. And declaratory orders is a bitch for someone like Malcolm who wants to run for public office. See, people, if I get a declaratory judgment against Malcolm that he defamed me and he violated my rights, people, Malcolm will never be able to run for public office. That's a fact. So that's what I did as a more intelligent man with newfound tools that know how to deal and fight the white man's war. Because the law, unfortunately, I hate to break it down to a white and black issue. Black people, we don't like the law well enough to learn our civil rights. So, yes, the law had become the weapon of the white man until some of us African Americans became intelligent enough to realize in order to effectively compete in the U.S. economy and U.S. society, we need to learn the laws that control our economy and our society. And this is what Clayton Howard has finally done. So, on page 4, Malcolm says you sleep with men and women. Oh, I hope he can prove that, people. You want the role of a straight man with a girlfriend. Meanwhile, you are 6 sexual activities for cash. Okay, people, I hope Malcolm can prove all of these 6 sexual activities for cash. I never slept with Diddy. You did. You are a fake internet courtroom bully. You have 5 STDs, including genital warts. You're having outbreaks. Sue me for that information as well. And as you see, people, I'll put the text message right there. So, the statements above were false and defamatory and were published to third parties, including Mr. White. The statements were published with actual malice and or negligence regarding the truth or falsity and people they were. Malcolm Penn posted these statements and they're complete lies. I never slept with Sean Combs. I don't have 5 STDs. People, it's a lie. See, he still talks to my ex-girlfriend Francyna Evins, and this lying, thirsty, pathetic bitch, just hungry for some attention, has decided to lie and now claim I gave her STDs. People, 4 years later, after this woman has accused me of rape, after this woman has accused me of sodomy, stalking, abusing her grandmother, choking her, all of these allegations, people, do you really think that Francyna Evins would have waited 4 years before she told someone that I gave her an STD? No, people. She made more allegations up to make herself relevant again because she's a miserable cornball. And this cornball woman wants to attach herself to this situation so her ex-boyfriend doesn't get any clout and people don't realize what she actually did to him also. So she goes back to claiming that he domestically abused her, even though he's been acquitted every time she's charged him. Let's go, people. The statements were published with okay. The statements were understood. The statements were understood by reasonable persons to refer to the plaintiff and to defend the plaintiff's character, which they did. People, he tagged my name. The statements exposed the plaintiff to public hatred, contempt, ridicule, and or injury the plaintiff's reputation. People, they did. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's defamatory statement, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer damage to reputation and standing in the community, severe emotional distress, anxiety, and mental anguish, loss of local community speaking engagements by falsely labeling the plaintiff as a homosexual publicly. The plaintiff has incurred and will continue to incur damage, including but not limited to emotional distress, damage of reputation, and loss of economic activity. So, see, people, Malcolm Penn wants to fucking play games with a champ. And when you play stupid games, people, you win stupid prizes. And Malcolm Penn won the dumb idiot jackpot when he messed with Clayton Howard 48 hours ago. So, people, the first cause of action Malcolm Penn is being sued for is defamation for the liable lies that he told. See, Malcolm Penn is going to have to show an STD test results that connect directly to me saying I have 5 STDs, which I know for a fact he can. Malcolm Penn is going to have to prove I slept with Sean Combs, which Cassandra Ventura testified on the stand that there was no homosexual activity between Sean Combs and the escorts. Whereas, Cassandra Ventura also testified that no escort drank sperm, that Diddy would collect our sperm and put it on his nipples. People, how do I drink sperm? I've never drank sperm, and people, I've never slept with a man. So until Malcolm Penn can prove this shit, he has a problem. But people, it's not over. But because Clayton Howard was very busy. See, I don't have time to play with sucker niggas who want to play games because they think they dealing with regular people. I'm not. So what I did, people, was I also put a protective order for cyber harassment on Malcolm Penn, which means now when he goes through the airport or anything trying to get away with it, people, he won't. Today, I'm going to take that protective order to the state of New York and register it as an order in New York. So all the conditions of that protective order are now effective in New York. And Malcolm Penn, I'm about to be the worst nightmare your sorry ass had. You should have left me alone when you had the chance, you crunchy faced little idiot. I told you to leave me alone. I told you to go about your business, but you're so thirsty trying to give Francyna a victimhood that she does not deserve, that you know she lied about, that you continue to stalk her ex boyfriend, hoping my funky vagina ex girlfriend gives you a play and lets you in. People, let me tell you the truth. A woman like Francyna Evins would never hold the fact that she caught an STD from a man she hates and has filed 40 false police reports on in the last 4 years. A man she's accused of raping her, strangling her, forcing himself on her, stealing her identity, stalking her, harming her family. Let me think. I'm trying to think of all the stuff she accused me of because people, it's a lot. A woman who has made all of these false allegations, why would she hold back a true one? People, Francyna would be screaming from the top of the mountains for the last 4 years if I gave her an STD. Why are we only hearing about it 4 years later, after I sued a woman who gave me chlamydia 10 years ago, people? Now Francyna Evins has an STD? Come on, people. See, this is the problem of true domestic violence. When people in communities, women especially, will not ostracize and cancel women who are exposed to be liars and abusing the process. See, the biggest problem that a black man has when a woman falsely accuses him of domestic violence are white women prosecutors. And people, I have personally been screwed over by white women prosecutors, I want to say for the last 3 years, 4 years. I've been screwed on the municipal level. I've been screwed on the state level. And again, people, I was screwed on the federal level, which many people who follow TMZ will realize that Maureen Comey got fired yesterday. Maureen Comey was the head prosecutor in the Diddy trial. Hold on, let's give Maureen Comey a play and put Maureen up here because I still fuck with Maureen. Maureen was nice. She just was biased and kind of racist. She didn't want to admit that black men can be victims. She didn't want it that people. Black men can be victims. Unfortunately, Maureen did not want to accept that. She didn't want to admit that a black guy could be a victim. So because Maureen didn't want to accept the fact that black men and minority men could be victim people, guess what? The trial of Sean Combs. I'm trying to figure out and get this thing up here. Why can't I find this thing? Actually, you know what? Let's X out of this screen save. Let's cut this one off. All right, and let's do this. Forgive me, people. So Maureen could not accept the fact that the minority men were the victims, and that's why she lost that prosecution, people. Whole fact. This is Maureen Comey here. Very nice woman. I've met this woman. What the hell? I've met this woman, I want to say, at least a dozen times, a little under a dozen times, and she was respectful to me. But the main thing I noticed about this woman, the look in her eyes when I told her what happened to me, and she verified it all, people. See, my lawsuit against Cassie is 100% verified, people. The U.S. Attorney's Office knows every word I said is the truth. The entire prosecution, I told them about Cassie and her complicity. But this white woman right here didn't want to accept the fact that I was the actual victim, people. She told me to my face I was. She verified all my allegations. But in her biased mind as a white woman with traditional American values, a minority male could never be put on the witness stand as a victim, people, because we're the primary target of law enforcement. Law enforcement, especially top law enforcement like the U.S. Attorney's Office, can't make minority men victims. All you want to do is prosecute us as bank robbers, drug dealers, and pimps. You can't have us up here like we actually were coerced in a situation and might have been victimized. And Maureen Comey would not do that. So what Maureen Comey did was falsify a narrative and make Cassie, who was actually a co-conspirator, a victim in a sex trafficking prosecution that she orchestrated and participated in as a co-conspirator. This is the true disgust of domestic violence, where prosecutors and officers allow women to lie just to build cases on men. This is happening to thousands of men every day in countries around the world. Women are complicit in criminal activity, but yes, the man may lack discipline, he may lack self control. We don't know the true extent of why abuse is occurring. And not saying abuse is justified and abuse is right. It's not. But we don't know as private citizens why these people are really like having these domestic disputes. It could be over all types of things, but the women will go in and lie and say, "Oh, he beat me because I sold these drugs. Oh, he beat me because I was managing these girls. Oh, he beat me because I knew he was stealing, and I was going to tell him no, people. She's lying, so she's not held criminally liable for the stuff she was helping the guy do and benefit." And people, it happens all the time. I'm from a urban community where women sell drugs with their boyfriends. And some women are ride or die. When the boyfriend get knocked, when the cops run in the crib, when the cops is trying to run down on the drugs, shorty will tuck the drugs, shorty hold it down, shorty will say, "I did it." Some women is thoroughbred and realize when they get involved in a man's criminal activity, they are now subject to criminal liability. And those women salute, because you made a decision to be involved in criminality, and you made a decision like an adult to own your responsibility. But to all those women out there who engage in criminal activity and then lie on their ex-boyfriend and say their ex-boyfriend made them do it, y'all pieces of shit. Because you women are know the criminal acts you're doing. And what you go do is lie on men so racist and biased prosecutors believe you, and you get off, and that man gets double, triple the time or life in prison because you don't tell the truth. The problem with the American judicial system is lying women like Francyna Evins and biased prosecutors like Maureen Comey, who, again, people, I'm not going to talk bad about because I believe fundamentally this woman was not racist. I talked to her. She was an excellent actor, excellent bullshitter, people, top level prosecutor here, people. I learned a lot about law inadvertently from this, watching this woman, how she conducted herself, how she asked questions, how she was able to pull information out me in such a soft way. People, I learned from this lady. Salute to Maureen Comey. Maureen Comey is the person who literally helped me reconstruct the events of what happened with me and Cassie. I didn't make it up. Maureen Comey walked me through things, showed me how to look at Google Maps so I could remember the hotels I went in. This woman worked to build that story out of me, people. And then once she got all the juice after prosecuting Diddy, after using me to indict him, she kept me off the stand because I could expose Cassie for what Cassie did. See, people, this was a U.S. attorney's office who did this to me, who violated my rights as a victim just because they knew the woman who they were trying to make their star witness was lying. People, the same thing happened to me in Staten Island with Michael McMahon. Michael McMahon knew Francyna Evins was lying, but people, Mike McMahon, a racist white man, can't put a black man that he prosecutes. People, they only prosecute black men on Staten Island. They prosecute black men for robberies, for pimping, for drugs. They can't take me as a black male who used to be a criminal and put me at Safe Horizon in St. John's as a victim of domestic violence and intimate partner stalking. No, people. They had to frame me for my ex-girlfriend, and then they put her on the stand, even though they knew I was the real domestic violence victim. I had the final order of protection. My ex-girlfriend was indicted in New Jersey and facing felony charges. The Staten Island District Attorney's Office totally framed me and put my ex-girlfriend on the stand to make the public at large think she was the victim and I was a liar. People, it took me 10 months to beat that case where it was completely dismissed. People, I've never gotten any recognition. The DA's office refuses to arrest my ex-girlfriend, even though they know she lied. People, they still have me barred from domestic violence resources, even though I am the federally protected victim. This is what I'm talking about the misconduct and the bias of white people in law enforcement who use domestic violence allegations to attack minorities, like Maureen Comey, like Mike McMahon. This is the truth of the situation. And unfortunately, you get black sellouts like this clown, Malcolm Penn, who are willing to abide by this system so they get vagina from the women that the men they're setting up with have. Excuse me, I'm saying this wrong. So they get vagina from the women they set up, from the women they're manipulating for the men they set up. And this is exactly what Malcolm Penn did to me. Malcolm Penn framed me because he wanted to sleep with my ex-girlfriend. Now, people, I could have tried to sue True to Life for this years ago, but people, it would have made me look vindictive to sue people for trying to sleep with my ex-girlfriend. So, people, I had to hold this down. As mad as I was, I never sued the Life Center. I never sued Malcolm Penn, Rachel Ewell, Melissa Thomas, and Melissa Thomas traveled across state lines to lie on me, people, working for True to Life and Staten Island domestic violence agencies. People, I had a hell of a lawsuit against these people, but I didn't do it. I tried to move on. I tried to focus on my true enemy, which was the district attorney of Staten Island and Francyna Evins. But people, I'm not allowed to do that because clowns like this little roach, crunchy faced bastard Malcolm Penn want to mess with me still because he can't attack me for what he did to Francyna Evins, with Francyna Evins. But he could attack me because Cassie paid me thousands of dollars to sleep with her. You're a cornball, bro. So in response to your cornball ass tactics, you have now been sued for liable action and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And you got a cyber harassment order on you, you dumb motherfucker, that you will be in court. And based off what that judge said to me yesterday, dude, you are guilty. You telling someone they drink sperm and they never drink sperm, bro, that's defamation. You tell someone they have 5 STDs, which you can't confirm, that's defamation, people. You telling someone that they slept with a man that a federal trial that was publicized to millions of people revealed he never did, that's definitely defamation, people. So Malcolm Penn, I know some of your bros are watching this broadcast. So my niggas, if you're listening to me, and I'm gonna take it a little urban for you. Yes, I called some of you my niggas, black men out there. If you listening to me, you need to get in touch with Malcolm. And you tell him that just because he's running and ducking service, this ain't gonna go away. You're gonna be in court and you're gonna answer for every lie you said about Clayton Howard, Malcolm. You're gonna pay. And as an added benefit, Malcolm, because I know you were texting me while you were at work yesterday, I'm also suing, and I want you to see this, Malcolm, so you know. I am suing Doe Corporations 1 through 10. And I'm going to explain that to you what that means. Now, people, let me first back up and address something. I am not a lawyer. I went back to school to get a law degree. I have a criminal record. I'm praying once I get the law degree that I can take the bar, and the state of New York believes that I've changed my life enough to give me a license to practice. Because a felony does not stop you from a law degree. You have to be approved by the Board of Ethics of the Bar Association, excuse me. So if I can have passed the LSAT or the bar and I can get before the ethics committee and they see that I've changed my life enough that maybe they feel I'm deserving of a law degree to help other people, then I'll get it. If they don't feel so, people, then I'm about to go to school for 4 or 5 years and I'm not going to get a law degree. But at least I gained the knowledge to be a better person. And in considering that, I'm happy with that. So I am not an attorney, people. I'm just a man who was tired of being violated and lied on by law enforcement and my ex-girlfriend. So I decided to educate myself and become knowledgeable in the law and pursue a career in law. I'm no lawyer. I don't claim to be a lawyer. I'm not a jailhouse lawyer, people. I'm not trying to pretend to be a lawyer. I just am smart and understand what's going on. So, people, if Malcolm Penn was at work while he was sending me these defamatory comments using their internet, using their power, technically, legally speaking, that company can be held liable for damages also because Malcolm Penn's use of their resources like internet and power, it make them co-conspirators. And I know this from the hundreds of case law I read. So, people, I've listed Dole Corporations 1 through 5. That might be the Central Family Life Center. That might be the New York Center of Interpersonal Development. People, any place that employed Malcolm Penn when he was sending these, because I'm going to subpoena his employment records. I'm going to subpoena timesheets, people. I'm going to find out if he was at work. Then I'm going to embarrass these companies by the fact that they have such a deplorable, disrespectful, lying individual representing their companies. So Malcolm's probably going to lose his jobs being advocates too. Because see, this is the consequence of when you lie on people publicly. You're going to have to pay for it. Copies of this lawsuit have already been sent out to be served on the Life Center in the New York Center of Interpersonal Development. Now, Malcolm, if you don't work there, I'll find where you work and I'm going to have them served. That's the good point of naming Doe Corporations. I can serve any business that I believe that you're working at. And once I start to subpoena them for your time records and they show me you did, now they're liable for a lawsuit and I'm going to clip their insurance, you dumb motherfucker. Excuse my language, people. People, knowledge is power. I used to think that I would get what I want from men with a good jab and a good right hand, people. I was wrong. You know what that got me? It got me felonies. It got me arrested. It got me ridiculed. It got me called an angry black man. And it got people depicting me like I was crazy because I was attacking men who were attacking me. So, people, a man has to learn in his life that the ways of the lion don't always work. And if you want to survive, you'll either become a fox or you'll be killed by other lions or other foxes who set traps for you and kill you. So one day, a couple years ago, after being horribly abused by my ex-girlfriend, I had to wake the fuck up and say, Clayton, you know something? You're losing. This girl is playing on your hatred of her because of the things she's actually doing to you. She's using the hatred she created in you by violating your rights to make you look like you're wrong. People, this is when I began to change. Unfortunately, idiots like Malcolm Penn didn't see that development, and he wanted to play stupid games, people. And like I told you, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Malcolm Penn, you won the dumb nigga jackpot messing with Clayton Howard. I'll see you in court. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, today I can say my mother Maggie Howard would be exceptionally proud of her son. I don't have a law degree yet yesterday, but my mother knows me to be an exceptionally violent individual. For me to have sit down and have written this lawsuit that totally decimates Malcolm, Malcolm's not going to win this lawsuit, people. How you going to win a lawsuit when the plaintiff has all the evidence right in the lawsuit? You drink sperm. I feel disgusting. Come on, people. You have 5 STDs. Malcolm, you lost, baby. You lost before you ever walked in court, brother. If I was you, I'd be doing everything in my power to get a good attorney and try to work on a settlement agreement to shut me the hell up. Because, Malcolm, you will never win public office once I win this lawsuit. The cyber harassment order will stop you from doing anything. Bro, you want to play stupid games. You won the dumb nigga jackpot fucking with Clayton Howard. You should have left me alone, Malcolm Penn. But you didn't take my advice when I advised you to leave me alone. You will wish you did. Again, people, on behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, knowledge is power. Don't always think that you have to beat somebody up to get them, people. No, you can use your brain and you can use your ability to think and not be violent. Malcolm Penn, Clayton doesn't have to be violent. Clayton has a brain. Clayton could have drove around looking for you for 4 or 5 hours yesterday. You know what happened after you sent me that last text with the 5 STDs? I'm gonna tell you what happened real quick, Malcolm Penn, because I know you're watching. I opened my computer, I logged on to my Word document, and I typed out this complaint against you in 45 minutes. Then I got my debit card and I went to the Richmond County Civil Court's website and I filed the document electronically online. And guess what, people? Within 3 hours, I had you, Malcolm Penn. It only took me 3 hours, no gas money, and a little bit of typing. Fuck with me if you want. You want to keep going and you want to play with me, a man with a pen game like I got. I got a knuckle game and I got a pen game, Malcolm, and you ain't fucking with neither one of them. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this is Clayton. Anybody who comes after me with slanderous or liable actions, you're going to be in the same position as Malcolm. Fucking play games, win stupid prizes. That simple. Malcolm Penn, I'm going to see you in Richmond County Civil Court. You'll probably be hearing about this lawsuit in advance because I wrote a press release and sent them a copy of it so they can report about you and the horrible things you say to private citizens behind closed doors. So since you want to play stupid games, Malcolm, you're about to win the dumb nigga jackpot messing with Clayton Howard. People, again, know your rights, know what you can and you can't do, and never let anybody bully you into losing your mental cool, people. That's how you're going to get over on people. Be cool. Instead of letting the anger of rage create a fire in you, let that rage become a cold flame. Let that rage become cold revenge, people, because as they say,